wanted to talk about who we think the breakout players this year are going to be for Carolina and Baltimore on offense and defense. I think we can start with the offensive side of the ball there. Down in Carolina, look, Carolina has a lot of firepower on offense right now.
Yes.
For the first time ever, they have a decent wide receiver core. And look, this is going to be the answer every single year until it really happens, and that's Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel's breaking out. Okay, he's a great route runner. He's phenomenal with the ball after the catch, and for the last few years, they just have not been able to get him on the field at the same time as a capable quarterback.
Right.
Now they have Teddy Bridgewater. I'm saying that Curtis Samuel is going to be the breakout player in Carolina this year.
Okay. Now, I'm about to give a hot take. This is a lunch break hot take. I'm about to give a hot take here. All right. Quiet as kept. You know, when you say quiet as kept, this is it's not quiet. I'm saying it loud, right? But this is something that nobody's saying. Carolina might have the most explosive offense in the NFC South next year. Oh,
yeah, they could.
They absolutely could.
DJ
Nobody
Moore,
thinks about that because they
Curtis
had a bad year
Samuel.
last year. Yep.
Yeah, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. They added Robbie Anderson.
Yep.
They already got Christian McCaffrey. Now they lost Greg Olsen, but they have Ian Thomas there, who's been waiting a couple of years for his shot. Like I said, if the O line holds up, they're going to put up a ton of points this year.
Absolutely.
Now, how many wins that translates to is a whole other question.
I mean, but, you look at that division. I mean, it's there's talent, top to bottom, on the offensive side of the ball, but Tom Brady is like 43 years old, man.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in Father Time, just wait until this year. You will.
As is Drew Brees.
As is Drew Brees, right? Like, they're not getting any younger, man. Matt Ryan ain't getting younger either, or better.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a bunch of talent around all those quarterbacks have talent around them. Mm-hmm. And maybe they can give you one more great year, maybe. But Teddy has the youth on his side. He was healthy all last year. He played well in a limited backup role, but he got to start a few games. He looked good. You know what he can do with talent, and now he's got the keys in Carolina. You guys can have the offense of that division. It could happen.
Yeah, and they've got three guys in Moore, Samuel, and McCaffrey who can all line up at wide receiver or running back. They have a new offensive coordinator in Joe Brady. I mean, he can get really creative with what he does, getting those guys the ball, and they're going to be really, really, really tough to stop. Yep. But like I said, it's the Curtis Samuel show in 2020.
I can see that.
So as far as the defense in Carolina, I think the obvious choice there is Brian Burns. He showed some talent, a good bit of talent last year. He didn't get to play as many snaps as he should have. He had some injuries and then disappeared from the lineup for whatever reason. Yeah. But no, I mean, he showed he can play. So obviously, I think he's going to take the next step. He's going to have a really good season. But my pick for the breakout player, and this is a kind of different kind of breakout, because this guy has been he's been a good player throughout his first few years. That's Shaq Thompson. And this is going to be more of a national breakout, because now, they let go of like 7 or 8 starters on defense. He's the man in that linebacking core now. And from all the reports, he's kind of, stepped into that leadership role. He's going to be out there going sideline to sideline, just racking up tackles. And I think he's going to be a Pro Bowler, and he's going to get a lot of national run. Because, the other part of it is, I think Carolina's going to be behind in a lot of games, and the other team's going to be running a lot. So there's going to be a lot of tackles to be had. And he's going to be the one picking them up. Yeah. So that's my pick. It's Shaq Thompson in terms of getting more national recognition.
So Brian Burns on the D line, Shaq Thompson in the linebacking core, Jeremy Chin in the secondary. Oh, yeah.
That's not. There's stories out there that they're looking around the league calling teams trying to get secondary help. And I'm like, what for?
Why'd you let Eric Reed go?
You already did this. Yeah, you cut Eric Reed. You let James Bradbury walk. What are you calling teams for? This is what you wanted.
Yeah.
You wanted to have the youngest defense ever. So what are you doing? Why are you trying to fix it now? And why are you calling teams? Logan Ryan has been sitting in free agency forever.
Hey man, Earl Thomas is available.
Yeah,
for cheap. For cheap too, right?
Jeremy Chin all day. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I like those picks. So you got Curtis Samuel on offense, Brian Burns on defense, and Shaq Thompson.
No. Just Shaq Thompson. I'm saying I think Burns is going to have a good year. I'm saying my pick though is Shaq Thompson.
I like that.
Getting some national recognition.
Shaq Thompson was one of those players I always thought was going to be a special player for you guys, but
yeah, I mean, look, when you're playing next to Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly, it's tough to look special.
Yeah,
it's tough. But he, like I said, he's the man in the middle of that defense now. I think he's going to shine.
There's been a little doom and gloom talk about the Panthers this year, but I can't see a scenario where they are a playoff team.
Yeah, look, I mean,
if those guys work out, right? If Brian Burns turns out to be really good, Shaq Thompson turns out to be really good, like we think, we get a little bit, some solid play out the secondary. There'll be a solid defense. Not great, they might give us some points.
The problem is, I mean, you're depending on a lot of really young players who haven't proven anything, and the real problem with it is they can't sustain injuries anywhere on their roster. Like, at wide receiver, maybe you can take one injury at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Maybe you can take one injury on the O-line. Maybe.
I was gonna say you can't do it on the O-line.
Well, I'm saying that's if Greg Little can actually play. We don't know. But if he can play, then maybe you can take one injury there.
Yeah.
You can't take any injuries anywhere else. Like, they have no depth. That's always been an issue in Carolina, and that's why they're going to lose 9-10 games this year.
Okay, I think they're closer to 8-8 or 9-7. We'll see. We'll see.